All right, we're back at it again. It's Saturday, May 6th. I don't know, it's about 1 o'clock. Got sidetracked today with some of my Ring cameras stopped working, so had to replace them. Kind of live in a little bit of a sketchy neighborhood. Not too sketchy, but just sketchy enough to where you want to keep an eye on things. So I'm working on that, and my fat ass doesn't like ladders, so I'm taking a break. But I got good news today. Oh! I did a little midweek update on changing the rear output seal. Got it in the mail yesterday. National seal. That's the part number, in case anybody out there's actually thinking about doing this crazy shit. But I got that. I got the bearing for the front. The box was kind of just like it was the original box. It's out in my car. It kind of fell apart, but it is the correct seal. Here's what's left, or bearing. That's what's left of the old bearing, and them there are the ball bearings. So that's good. I cleaned up the shaft so I can press that on, and I got this all cleaned up. I'm going to put on this bearing, or seal, or reassemble the back brake hub drum and the band down there. Get this side done, spin it around, and put the output shaft with a cage bearing and the new bearing on the outside with a snap ring, and then the collar. Get that all done. But I can't do that while holding the camera, and I'm not so sophisticated. I got a tripod, and no one really needs to see that shit. It's just general monkey wrenching. So, but this is the update right now. And then I got the redneck transmission puller sitting out there in the driveway. I get this done, throw it on the little carpet dolly, roll it under old Oddball there, lift it up, slide her in, bolt her up, go inside, have a beer and a hot dog, come back and button everything else up. And I'll probably get around to installing that seat today, hopefully. I got the new bracket sitting right there. So while I'm doing it, get her done, right? 4th of July is right around the corner. All right, so this is the first video of the weekend. I'll take a couple, throw them together. When I'm done, we'll have a new throwout bearing, seal, input bearing, hopefully a seat. Hopefully this will get me down the road for the 4th of July parade in Huntington Beach, which is coming up quick. All right, stay tuned. Simplify. All right, got the rear seal put in, got the brake drum reassembled. I haven't tightened this nut down yet because I wanted to put the bearing and the front input shaft, cage bearing, all that went in really smooth. That snap ring has seen some better days, but I just went ahead and reused it and kind of pinged it over with a punch and hammer there so it won't come out. But if you were in the first video, man, I got a little bit of play here because I don't have the back nut all the way tight, and that kind of just holds everything together. But man, it's night and day difference. Then I decided to pull the, this is where the PTO would mount. I want to pull the cover off because it was leaking a little bit. I want to re-silicone that. But take a look at these gears. These are what they call straight cut gears. That's why you have to double clutch on these older ones. You got to push the clutch in to take it out of gear, and then you got to let off the clutch, push it in again, and then put it into the next gear. Clutch in, clutch out, double clutching, which is something that you don't do very often. And after all my years of driving a truck, I find it really hard because I used to just float the gears, long before they had the automatics. But double clutching with such a small horsepower engine going as slow as it's really a trick, so I gotta get some more practice on that. But this is your first gear, and look how massive that first gear is, because these don't have a low range in the transfer case. So basically your first gear is like granny gear, then you got your second, and look how bad third gear drops way down, and then fourth is 1-to-1. And because this truck has taller tires than original, and it's kind of a real low horsepower motor, that fourth gear, this thing really bogs down. So, not that I'm going to be cruising around in fourth, but I'd like to be at least hit 40 miles an hour once in a while. But I'm going to finish cleaning up this PTO cover, get this put back on. Got the top off. I'm going to have to clean up all this. I'm not going to put the shift mechanism part back on until I have it back in the truck, because I'm going to run a chain across here like I did to lower and raise it. But man, I looked at all the gears, and none of the gears seem chewed up at all. There wasn't a whole lot other than the chewed up ball bearings way down deep inside. I can't size zoom in, but it's all cleaned up. And from looking at, see, I was wondering why there wasn't a seal on the input collar here, the bearing retainer. But if you figure that your oil level goes right to here, that's on these, everything's down below and it slings the oil up. So I guess it's just they decided, in these earlier years they didn't need a seal inside here where other transmissions do, but they're definitely squattier transmissions. So hopefully that solves the leaking problem and the rattling and the noise and all that, and this transmission should be good to go. Hopefully for at least 40-50 miles. Actually, I think it's probably pretty much bulletproof now. All right, stopping the second video, gonna put it back together and then get ready to put her back in. Mr. Oddball. Got a nice cool breeze out here. I think it's around 75 degrees. Just perfect Saturday weather. So get back to work. All right, well, back under the Dodge here, getting the throwout bearing put in. It's kind of a trick snaking this in, but I got her in. Now I just need to go get a pair of those pliers, and there's a spring right here that goes to this bolt, which pulls on the throwout bearing, so it keeps it on these two dogs here, which keeps it from rattling around. So I gotta get it adjusted right before we put the transmission in, and after that I'll put the two bolts I have, the studs up here, and then I'll slide the transmission out of here and stab her in. It's moving along quite nicely for this Saturday afternoon. All right, let's see here. I got the transmission wheel down underneath here, drive shaft and the flywheel cover and all the nuts and bolts. I got the cable winched down. Let me see if this is working. All right, so we're good there. I got the throwout bearing, which I need to hook up a little spring to it. I even got my GoPro up there on my Chinese knockoff GoPro because I'm cheap. So I got the studs set up in here. So let me put the camera down. I'm going to try to get that spring hooked up, and then we're going to get this transmission stabbed, aren't we? That's right. All right. So let me. I need two hands. All right. Let's see here. I got the transmission wheel down underneath here, drive shaft and the flywheel cover and all the nuts and bolts. I got the cable winched down. Let me see if this is working. Alright, so we're good there. Got the throwout bearing, which I need to hook up a little spring to it. I even got my GoPro up there on my Chinese knockoff GoPro because I'm cheap. So I got the studs set up in here. So let me put the camera down. I'm going to try to get that spring hooked up, and then we're going to get this transmission stabbed, aren't we? That's right. All right. So I need two hands. So the GoPro's still going. All right, got those nuts there. These nuts. There. Pull this stuff out of the way.
believe that's how you do it. I do believe. Well, wasn't much to see. I was quite surprised. It went. I mean, I'm not done yet, so I don't want to, assume. But it sure went in pretty easy. The alignment bolts work like a charm. Transmission's not heavy or awkward enough to where it's hard to maneuver a little bit if you needed to. So I was able to tilt it up and back. But before I take out the alignment bolts, I'll do this from the top. Can't get much of a bite. fits on those little forks, and you don't want to mess that up. But it looks like I can unhook the, all that work making this crane for just a few seconds of work, but see what I'm doing. Find something else to use this for. Hey. Hello. Hey, how you doing?
All right, we're back up on top here. I don't think my Chinese GoPro worked out too well. We'll find out when I get it back in the office. All right, getting ready to put the top cover on. I got these, that's the bolt hole right there. I got the gears lined up. Just move a little bit. Should be interesting. Got to put some silicone around the top there, a little RTB red. And then I'll try to slam this back on. Once I get that done, I can finish mounting up the emergency brake and all that. And hopefully I can get this back together and take it for a spin. So it's been going pretty smooth, a lot smoother than I thought. Just time consuming, but we'll get her. All right, checking out for a second. Ooh, yeah, that is nice and quiet. I don't hear, nope. Don't hear much of anything coming out of the transmission. Before it was like you had to push in the clutch to get it quiet. Now it's quiet as can be. Whew. I am very happy. So I just got to put the top on. I'm going to bolt that seat down tonight, I think. But wow, all back together, and it is quiet. I could sneak up on the Nazis now. Alright. Kind of hard filming this all day today because I was under the truck, out of the truck, on top of the truck, hanging in the truck. Needed two hands for a lot of it. But got her done. So just in time for the sun setting. There she is. I hear a little bit of rattling. Might be from the engine. Yeah, does sound like a bearing somewhere. No, it's actually coming from the transmission. It's probably just the gears inside the transmission spinning around. Because like I showed you in the other videos, it's a straight cut dealio. But there it is, all back in, back together. Just working on fix that little oil leak up there, and then I say I'm gonna bolt in this seat. But not bad. Lucked out, man. You know, opened a little can of worms, but not a huge can of worms. So could always be worse. But this come out great. Whoop, back on out. There we are. All right, all back together, fired up. Everything's been in the right direction. Haven't taken it for a test drive yet, but let me get on that. All right, I don't think I'm much of a video, but I bent the shifter so now it doesn't hit my leg, and I'm gonna head out and go get my mail down the end of the street. And let's see how this runs. Really can't do this while I'm doing that. So, but I'm idling at 5,000 RPM. I think something's wrong with that. Oh yeah, 8 grand in a flash. Oil pressure, 40 psi. And I think I got the leak fixed. 14 volts charging. Might as well just try the headlights. Headlights are on. All right, let's get going. All right, moving along in second gear. Got a few bumps. Dirt road, but everything sounds good. Not going too fast. Oh, hit bombs. Seems to be running real good. Fourth gear is still a dog. Oh, that double clutching. There's fourth gear, it's just boom. Those tall tires, I think. Okay, I'm gonna pause it for a minute. Everything's running good. Got back a turn and it takes all my hands.